Hello, everybody. Come on in, take a seat at my table, and we're going to get started here real shortly. We are continuing our discussion on the video from Smiley's World that happened on March 20th with Chris and Katie. Um, and then, but there was one thing I just wanted to kind of go over really quick. I don't know if any of you guys saw that Nick had put out a video today, and I kind of wanted to share a little piece of this because it kind of um, really says how I want my channel to be. And so I just kind of wanted to show you guys a little bit of that video. Not much, just something that I wanted to share with you. Um, and it's day 256, disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, and that's what's most important here, okay, guys? Let's go ahead and listen to Nick for a second.
And you can be with the likes of those creators, you can be on the right side of this, and you can end up possibly coming out of this case as not a creator, but as an individual who part of a movement that ended the hatred that has ruined the chances of finding out dozens of missing children. A lot of children would have been found if it wasn't for hate, if it wasn't for rhetoric, if it wasn't for BS. And it's not just Sebastian, it's Summer Wells, it's a lot of them. Okay. If social media did what they did to Sebastian's case, to Molly Tibbetts, we wouldn't know what happened to Molly. If they did what happened with this case to Jamie Kloss, she'd still be under the bed at Patterson's house. She would still be there under the bed as a kidnapped victim whose parents were shot and killed in front of her. But no, we had morals, I guess, back then on YouTube. We had a community and we had a common goal, which is to make a difference, which is to compete with the mainstream media. Not that they're bad, but because they don't have the time to do what we do. They don't. They don't have time to dissect cases the way you guys do. They don't have time to give beautiful presentations like Grizzly's True Crime. They don't. They don't have time for that because it just doesn't work. This is where people turn to for that. Let's keep them coming for that. And I think we will. This skunk case is going to go down in history, and I guarantee you it's going to get appealed by the other side, and it might make its way to the Supreme Court of the United States. And change is going to come. The legal team that we are assembling, aside from the one we have, they deal with appellate law, they deal with the Supreme Court of the United States, and they deal with cases that go before the Supreme Court regularly. Every other year, these guys are there. We are hiring experts in the field of essentially the rights you get as being an American, as when you're born in America, you have, or if you are a US citizen, you have rights. You have a constitution that protects those rights, and there are laws.
Okay, so you heard what he said. He was talking about how there has been so much hate, right? And it really has affected these cases, guys. You know, um, there was once a time where the true crime community was like a family. Creators were helping each other, coming up with tips, and, instead of bashing each other, and instead of, you know, I don't know, instead of the hate, the rhetoric that Nick was talking about. So that is what I want my channel to be like. That's why my channel will never, ever be a channel where other creators are bashed. I don't care who they are. Are there people that I don't care to listen to? Absolutely. But I'm not going to bash them. I won't. I will not do that. There are creators that I like and I may mention, I may use some of their stuff from time to time. Yeah. But you'll never see anyone bash a creator on my channel. And if it starts in chat, it'll be shut down really quickly. So I just wanted to make that known to everybody that that is what my channel is like. And then sometimes I feel like, especially with this video, it's leaning a little bit toward hatred, toward one side or the other. And I don't want that, guys. So I just want everyone to be cautious in how they're speaking and trying to look at this objectively. Do we have opinions? Of course we do. And I don't care if you show those opinions as long as you don't show hate. Okay? So, and if you don't agree with that, then maybe you shouldn't be on my channel. As much as I'm trying to grow my channel, I don't want someone here who's going to promote hate. I just don't. I'm a granny who has learned a few things in life, and I just don't want to be part of that rhetoric. Okay. But let's go on. We're going to hopefully, and I know I've said this before, but hopefully we are going to go ahead and finish this video with Smiley's World. Gosh, yeah, let's see, 2:33. Yeah, okay, about an hour left, guys. So here we go.
It's not a normal job. You can't just tell your boss I'm out of here and walk out the door, get in your car and leave. I mean, there's a lot of safety involved. Sebastian's dad, same thing. He's not going to be able to just be like, hey, I'm out of here and walk out the door. I left as soon as I could, when I could.
What, let's see. Somebody wants to know why you didn't want him around your daughter.
That is a personal family matter.
Okay.
That unfortunately, that's not one I'm going to open up.
Okay.
It's not a.
Well, okay, you don't have to. Let me ask you this in another way. Let me ask you this in my way, not their way. I heard that it's possible. I heard that is he supposed to be a witness in some kind of case that you have with your wife? Is that true?
No.
Okay.
No, ma'am. So I've heard that somebody said he was supposed to be a witness in my custody case with my daughter.
Okay.
And absolutely not.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from, but I mean, I when I heard it, I was laughing internally. I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was just kind of wondering how that would work, but yeah, I just thought I would clear that up. But okay, so I won't keep y'all on here all night, but I want to ask you, like, how did there's just a couple more. How come Ellie, do you think, hasn't publicly cleared you, like in the public cleared you, come out and said, hey, their parents are clear? Because I know what you've said, Chris.
Right, but
Why?
they can't.
Why?
Because the investigation is still ongoing, because Sebastian is still missing, which is why they came out and clarified that no, we are not suspects, and yes, we are.
If you're not guilty, the first thing that they would do, just like with Elizabeth Smart, is come out and say they're not guilty. Same thing with Brandy. I mean, Brandy Neal Monkey, Michael Monkey Vaughn's mom. That's what they're going to do. I mean, they're not going to, and others in the news. That's just who I think you're familiar with. But that's what they're going to do. They're not going to just allow you to, be sitting there hanging in the public's eye and take all this criticism and stuff.
Because there's so many agencies involved in this investigation.
I agree.
And I mean, across the board. And you think of an alphabet, it's probably involved, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I have begged and begged and begged, and so has my wife. Seth, when he was at the house before, same thing. We all asked, why can't you come out and just say it? Y'all told us to our faces.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the response we get, because it's an ongoing investigation and protocol does not allow us to do that. And that is the answer we're given.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying you're telling a lie. I'm just wondering why, because I would be demanding. I really would be demanding. I'm just trying to think, I would do everything in my power to, and I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying again, one of my intros has it on there. I'm not saying, but you are suspicious, or this is suspicious, however I say it. And I mean that. I mean, things don't add up. Stuff don't add up. I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful either. I'm really not.
I mean, so here's something that's very unique. And I mean, we talk about it whenever they come and they talk to us or they call us on the phone. This is a case that literally has got all of these agencies stumped. Okay, and I'm saying this very openly, as far as, playing devil's advocate. Let's say one of us was suspected of foul play. Let's say something, right?
Right.
There's no way that we would outdupe all these agencies. There's no way. However, this 15-year-old boy has managed to outdupe everybody. Call him Houdini. He always wanted to be a ninja, and we kept goofing around. Well, he has officially done it, because poof, nothing. And it's, the cops have told us this is a case that will go down as a researched study case where they're asked.
Okay. We've said before that we have a lot of questions, right? We do. There's no evidence that Sebastian walked out of that door. So how did he leave? Okay. How did he leave? The only way he could have left, and I mean, as far as we know, there's no evidence of this, is if he was in the car, in the garage, and they left that way. But there's no evidence of that. Or he was carried out the back, and there's the flashlight videos to support what might have happened there, right? So, did Sebastian like to hide? Did he like to be a ninja? Well, maybe he did, but I don't believe Sebastian would have left on his own. You guys can tell me what you think, but I don't believe he would have left on his own. So, if we're going by facts here, no evidence that he walked out the door. None. So we have questions. We have big questions. And whether this case goes down in history, is being researched, whatever, it's like, have you ever done those 1,000-piece puzzles? And you get to the end and there's a piece missing? That's what's going on here. there's a piece missing, and it's a huge piece. It's the piece that puts the whole rest of the puzzle together. You know, and hopefully Nick and Dog can figure it out and can bring Sebastian home. They're still saying he's alive, guys. So I pray that that is true. I pray that that's true. But let's continue on.
Asking the questions and looking for answers, and literally nothing. Everything they try to come up with, blank.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything is just, it's really strange. It's really strange. I don't know.
I mean, I wish there was something, anything.
I do too. If I could get it, out there somehow. I mean, from what I see, I don't know for a fact. There's almost 1,700 people in here. That's big for me because I don't never have that. Numbers don't matter to me. But somebody pointed out, stop saying that, Smiley, because matters when these kids are at risk. Yeah, I mean that it is. It's important when I'm talking about a child missing, and this definitely means a lot that so many people are in here. They're in here because of you guys. Thank you. You guys need to be out here, in my opinion, speaking on him, not fighting with the Facebook groups. I see you in there. It makes me want to go in there and because sometimes you push the wrong buttons with me. I'm just saying.
Well, and don't get me wrong, and I, like I said, and I've opened that communication with you, and I told you, you know, you want to talk, you call me, you want to send me a message, something, and as I've been very respectful to you, I haven't,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I may not always say the right things, I may not, but it's that last time I looked in the mirror, I'm a human. I'm entitled to my emotions. I'm entitled to my opinions, and I respect those, and I respect everybody else's just as much.
Yes, sir.
There's one thing that compassion is a virtue that is in very short demand in today's society. Because if you sit back and you look at all these families, now we got another one, Riley. You know, a 6'7" guy disappeared in the flat, gone. You know, now we got another family that's hurting.
Yeah.
You know, if you, as a person, ever set in the shoes that me, Katie, and Seth sit in to this day, or the Riley family for that much, I promise you, the outlook that you're going to see from our view, you'll understand it. You'll be so riddled with emotions. And you really don't care because all you want is the same end result. You just want your loved one.
Right. Right. I know it don't get any easier each day that passes. It don't. They want to know if it's possible, since y'all were on the phone, if he could have tried to walk to Chris's work. Thought maybe he was that close, the building site. The construction site that was by your house. Maybe he thought that was Chris's job.
Oh, Lord. No. Sebastian, no, Sebastian knows when my job sites, he knows what to look for. And
The
what I
construction
do
site.
has no equipment of that manufacturer.
Right. That was a really silly question because being a crane operator is far different than building houses. um, you just try to imagine a crane way up in the air, guys, on a high a really tall office building or something, that's the kind of work that Chris does. It's not building a house. I think it was the very first video that Katie had a crane out, a toy crane that she had out, and must have been Sebastian's. So he would know. He knew what kind of machinery Chris used. He would know the difference between the two. Remember, he was a high functioning autistic male, not, that doesn't mean he was stupid by any means at all. They said he was very intelligent. So we need to try to remember that. He just had some social issues, right? Social interaction issues. He didn't realize that he was getting up in people's personal space. Okay. And then there were certain things like if he was interested in one topic, he wanted you to be interested in that same topic too. He didn't want to go off onto something else. He wanted to stay on that topic. Just different things as far as getting along with people that he didn't realize.
On that site period.
Yeah. Go ahead, Katie. I'm sorry.
The construction site near our house isn't like a skyscraper. It's just houses and homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're building a small subdivision.
Yeah.
And we've searched it several times.
I mean, I'm currently sitting, today's my last night covering this crane, but I'm sitting at Vanderbilt University at the hospital, 300 feet in the air with a skyline view. And I get to sit here and do what I do, but I also sit here and I watch life flight helicopters come in and land every so often at Vanderbilt and at the Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
And I have nothing but to sit here and wonder, could one of those be Sebastian?
Yeah. I understand. Well, my prayers are certainly with every one of y'all and Seth and Katie and you and the grandmother and everybody and Sebastian. I want everybody to the whole Hendersonville, the community, people that didn't know him, love him. And I want to see this come to an end in a good way. Just to think positive, happy thoughts. Just think happy thoughts.
Very, very true. And
if anybody has any information, to call that number 615-442-1865 or the 1-800-TBI-FIND. See, I got moved it, but please print one of these out. Print it out. Pass it out everywhere. You never know. Again, like I asked you today, put it in your mail. Don't hurt if you mail a letter to somebody. It's your old friend. Mail it. Put it in there. Send it all over the world.
Well, I mean, it's funny you say that because I've got confirmation.
There once was a time when everybody mailed out all their bills and all that kind of thing, but I think that is probably pretty few and far between anymore. I mean, I'm actually going to be 66 tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow, the 8th. Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, I don't mail bills out. My bills are paid online. So, if this old granny can do it, I mean, there's mostly everybody does that, I think. It's very, very few and far between, I think, that actually mail out anything. But having said that, I know that there are people out there that are printing out the flyers and they're mailing them to truck stops in their area and to other local businesses in their area. You know, it doesn't matter. Look at, there's been some credible tips in Oregon and New York. It doesn't matter where you are, guys, because Sebastian could be anywhere. He could be anywhere. And we need everyone in the United States and beyond to know about Sebastian. So if you're able to mail out flyers, and if you need flyers, email me, granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. I will get you the flyer to print out, okay? If you need those. But please, do that. Put it out on your social media every single day. Light it up green for Sebastian. Wouldn't it be awesome to hear that he saw a porch light that was green and he was attracted to it and that's how he's found? I mean, you never know what it's going to be, right? You never know.
That there's folks in Australia, Spain, England,
The
Austria,
UK.
UK they've got wind of this and they've got some posters posted. So it was actually kind of cool. I never thought that would happen, but that's pretty cool.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely.
Blessings back to you, Got Change.
Yeah. The Funny Face Brenda says love should have brought you home. Yeah. And they were talking about he wanted friends. He's got more friends than he will ever know what to do with. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Well, I said it before, when he does come home, and everybody complained to how packed the block was with cop cars. Well, he's now become like the son of Sumner County, so it's going to be a long line.
Yeah. Yeah. I sure hope it's soon.
Oh my gosh. I just had a vision, kind of a thought of when he comes home, what that's going to be like, and there are going to be thank you, Brenda. But there are so many people who are going to want to see him and they'll be crowded around him. And the problem is that he's autistic, right? And that may scare him. But I mean, yeah, there's, the friends, the amount of friends he's going to have now, and like the first day he goes back to school, what, I don't know, just what's going to happen, I do think he'll be overwhelmed, but there could be worse things, right? There are worse things. The fact that he's not home is one of the worst things, but let's continue on.
Well, is there anything that you would like to say that either one of you that you think that we can do to help? I mean, that we can really do to help those near, those far? I don't know.
I want to spread his face to the ends of the earth and back because he's out there somewhere and someone does know something and someone needs to come forward. Whoever may have him, assuming that someone might have him, needs to let him come home. And we need everybody everywhere to see his face and to know his face. All the missing children. But I personally think that the more people that know his face, the more likely it is that if he is out somewhere, that more likely someone will actually recognize him and be able to call and we can bring him home.
And we can do that, and we have these platforms. Will you, I mean, consider doing something for me though? Will you please consider talking to some of the bigger creators, and it don't have to be like the news or whatever, but like, would you consider talking to some, especially, I know JLR again, Chris, I hope I got you calmed down on that a little bit.
Oh,
Um,
I'm calm. I mean, emotions can sometimes get the best of a person.
I know. And because I personally want the word out. And what Katie just said about that was perfect, what she just said. But if you will allow yourself, and listen, if you ever have a question and you want to private ask me, look, is this person, whatever. I've had my fair share with some of these people. Okay. Let me tell you, I'm not going to say, but it's your ultimate decision. I would say, I don't know. I'd watch that one, because what I don't want these creators who's going to end up like Summer Wells case and then be fighting each other. I don't want that. Okay. This is about him. Okay. This is about him. But what I want you
Well,
to consider is, I want you to consider, Chris and Katie, to please, right now, early on, go ahead and let's get his name and face out there. And please consider talking. I mean, you got Jay for Justice. And she's sweet. I mean, just let bigger channels, please talk to them, you know, the ones that's really for the kids, please. I'm just looked up because I'm nobody, and you did make a promise to me. Trev time is, I know you spoke with him already on another channel. I don't know how you feel about that, but he really is for the kids.
well,
You know,
here's what I'll say about Trev, and I'm gonna say this open and publicly.
it's okay.
So Trev sent me a message and he apologized.
Hmm.
He apologized to me and my wife because he made a mistake. He got wrapped up in, I'm going to call it the sauce. He got wrapped up in that with jumping on the bandwagon of assuming and accusing us. Now, he went back and he has changed that. He has apologized.
Hmm.
That, that right there alone, I'll do your show
Hmm.
because you did it. You did what you were supposed to do as a man or a woman, excuse me. A
Yeah.
new age thing nowadays. Sorry. Um, Righteousness, the right thing, that will get you a lot farther than the rest of it. I mean, it's one thing, and that's what I'm saying. JLR, this dude, he's gonna have to make a public apology. He's gonna have to make it public for me to consider him. And the reason why I say that is because how much crap he put out there and to the level he has gone to certain topics. There's one topic, okay? My kids don't.
Yeah.
Don't cross that line.
I
I don't care who
understand.
you are.
I understand. I'm just saying,
I mean,
and it don't even have
one
to
of
be.
the one of the reasons it took us a little bit longer to do some of these interviews, okay, and this is before we started doing interviews and talking with media, we were kind of advised, hold off, don't do that. Well, eventually got to the point we needed to start talking to the media.
Hmm.
The parents, myself, Katie, and Seth, all decided, we made a pact in the beginning. Hey, if we're going to do this, we're going to keep each other in the loop. We're going to talk to each other and ask. We're not just going to go out here and do our own thing. Okay. That has always been our pact. You know, we would call Seth and say, hey, initially he didn't want to do any type of interviews, and we understood that.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I said, hey, man, do you want to like phone in with us? Do you want to come to the house and we'll do this as a group? What do you want to do? We've tried and we want to do this as a group. You know, unfortunately, you know, somewhere along the way, we've all kind of gotten off track, and he's kind of gone out and done his thing. We've kind of done our thing. Mrs. Rogers done her thing. I think his sister may have done something. I mean, but it's everybody's getting the word out.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. I just don't want anybody's ego and nobody to get in the way. I mean, I'm just saying, because Katie did say it perfect just a minute ago. And if you can say it for the for the flyers and stuff, I just want it to be known that, because I always say, and no matter if it's a missing child, I always say it. Sometimes I do little things on just what's in my heart and stuff. Sometimes it could be on freaking, I don't know, it have nothing to do with a person. Sometimes I just get into my feelings sometimes and come on here. And it ends up, somebody says, you don't know what you did you? And it's just a lesson or something. I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head right now. But I always say, no matter how little we are, we might take and say something, and then somebody sees it, and then they share it, and it goes on and on and on. And somebody really might be helped by it. Well, it's the same thing with Sebastian. Somebody might share it, come in 2 weeks from now, or hopefully not that long, but and see him somewhere or remember something, and something may click, or it could be tomorrow, tonight, an hour from now, and it really may help. But sometimes you need other creators, and it just needs to all just flow like that. I don't know, no matter how big or how small. And it don't matter to me. I want to kind of promote everybody. If they have a channel and they're good and they have good intentions, I don't care who it is. I don't care what they do. And I just hope that y'all, as the parents of him, don't let your ego get in the way. Just let it roll off, and do what you got to do. Just bring him home. Bring him home. I just hope that makes sense. I mean,
I agree with what she's saying, because I think, being the parent and there being a lot of questions, of course, people are making a lot of accusations and assumptions, right? And we've said it before, Chris has been his own worst enemy, you know, because of the way that he has reacted and responded to people on the internet. Um, you know, but you what Smiley said about supporting everybody, is important, and at that point he does. There comes a point where you have to just ignore what the hate mongers are saying. You have to just let it go, and I know for a while there when the hate got so bad, I'll be really honest, I was kind of going to their channels just to see what they were saying. And, it only made me more angry. And not only that, I was giving them clicks, and I realized, no, you need to just leave it alone. Hopefully they'll stop, and, you just leave it alone, you know. Um, and I think in a case where I'm talking Seth, I'm talking Chris and Katie, when there is so much public opinion out there, you kind of have to let the negative roll off your back, keep Sebastian as the focus, and move toward that end goal of seeing him brought home. I think, and if creators can keep that in mind as we're going through the videos, not getting sidetracked by something stupid a parent has said, right? Because they can. Guys, they're, whether, how do I want to say that? They're going through some difficult emotions, no matter what. Okay, I'll say no matter what. They're going through some difficult emotions, and they're going to say things that they don't necessarily mean, you know. And Chris has admitted he's not an emotional person. He's just not. And some people are not, you know. Some people just are not. That's the way they're built. That's the way, you know, for whatever reason, that's the way they've grown up to be. You know, we cannot portray ourselves onto somebody else. Each person is their own unique person. That's the way God created us. So I really feel as though let it roll off like water, and the focus for all of us, every one of us, has to be on bringing Sebastian home. That's the goal.
Yes.
I hope it's okay advice, and I hope I'm not overstepping saying that.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. Trev is a good guy. I'm glad he did whatever he had to do.
Well, he didn't have to do it. He
Yeah,
manned up and apologized because he made a mistake, and he said, "Look, I know I did. I'm apologizing. Appreciate that, man. That means a lot."
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah,
Now, all your viewers out there, I want to say, thank everybody, regardless of what your personal opinion is of me, my wife, the situation, the bio father, anybody. It doesn't matter. I personally say thank you for being able to continue to spread the word, be a part of this in any form, shape, or fashion. And just know that you got 3 parents missing a son that needs to be home. And compassion
yeah,
is, like I said, in short demand and could be overfloweth with people out there if we could just find a way to become all one united group, and we can just do this.
yeah. I agree. I agree. It's sometimes it's hard though. Something pops off, or you hear this, and you gotta just do it. And again, like I told you when I first talked to you through there, I was just like, we got to set our feelings aside. I mean, number one for me is you have to understand, I have to think of all sides, and I have to do until they say. And I think outside the box. I'm not like any of these other people. I'm not with them. I don't really, there's a couple I might talk to here and there, but I don't work with nobody. Get that straight, everybody, while you're on my channel now. Even these creators wonder, what do you do, Smiley? I don't work with nobody. If I want to know something, I'm pretty much going to go to you. If I'm going to call you out, I'll get on here and Fire Up Live and I'll call you out. I'm not like these people, but don't put me with everybody else.
Well, I mean,
So
there's
but I have my feelings too, and I think what I want, and I say what I want, and sometimes it's not good.
Well, there's like I said, there's information that we still, even as of today, we had a meeting with law enforcement, and we've asked them verbatim, like everything we've been saying. Is there anything you want us to change? Is there anything new that we can put out? And honestly, they said exactly what y'all been putting out, the way you've been putting out is exactly what you need to do. Don't add to it. Don't take away from it. And trust me, it kills us because there's facts that we could put out there and it would put a lot of things to rest, but we can't because they say it can potentially cause issues to the investigation.
Yeah. as somebody said, Smiley asked the hard question. I don't know what y'all want me to ask, because that's what you better tell me before I get off of here. Because if you have anything, I'll ask 2 or 3 more questions, and I'm not going to ask any more because we've been on here 3 hours, y'all. And what do you want me to ask? Seriously.
Make them good. Come on. I know
Make-
y'all got them hard ones.
Yeah, make them good. Ask something that's not been asked before. I wasn't expecting he was going to tell me. I was on Justin's panel, and I wasn't expecting he was going to tell me to come on right now.
Well, the reason, just to clear this up, because I had already heard that somebody in that show popped off and said, well, he don't talk to a man.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not jumping on that show because that wasn't your show. That was his show that y'all were in. I told you and made you a promise that I'd come talk to you.
Yeah.
Never promised them.
Yeah. I understand that. So, yeah. And I did tell you, hey, yeah. And you said, how do you feel about that? And I said, yeah, I will do it, and I'll fire up a live right now. So I guess you thought I'd fire up a live right now, and I would. So they said, oh, let's go over there. So it worked
And
out.
see, they could have jumped in on your show. I wouldn't have been upset with that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cared.
So, well, Josh came over, and but look, yeah, but see, I have to stop there, and then I had to come fire this one up over here.
Yeah, I'm
so
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's confusing, but yeah. And then I was like, I have to go to the bathroom real quick. I better do that because I don't know how this is going to go. I really thought you were going to be mad at me for what I said, but anyway, I'm like, but anyway, I had to get ready. I had to get prepared to put on my boxing gloves.
No, and I mean, you put on boxing glove thinking you walking into a slugfest. No,
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I told you what I would do, and I've delivered. And like I said,
you did.
You got people out there want to ask a hard question. And I got no problem still to this day. Tell them, find me on Facebook.
Yeah.
You want to ask a question that wasn't answered in the show? Hit me up on Facebook. Send me a direct message. I'll answer you.
Yeah. Tam just wants to know before we go, she does want to know, what do you think should happen to the person if they did anything to Sebastian, or somebody took him out of the house? What do you think should happen to them?
Oh, they should absolutely be punished to the fullest extent possible.
I'm going to give you 2 answers. And the first answer is going to be exactly what Mom said.
Yeah.
The legal system will do its due justice.
Yeah.
My non-so legal issue is just imagine what a mama bear does when her cubs are attacked.
Yeah.
And what a mama bear could do.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. I mean, it's, I'm not saying I'm going to hurt somebody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the attacks. I mean, if you hurt our son, and just hope law enforcement gets a hold of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. And, I don't, I know that y'all have been through a lot. And again, I'm sorry for, I had to ask you that, Katie, over there, but I wanted to know. And if I say something, I'm just going to ask it. And that's just the way that I am. I don't mean to make your life harder. But, if you're answering questions on Facebook and groups and stuff like that, I think it's all fair game.
Yes, ma'am.
She has asked some questions that other people were afraid to ask. She kind of does it in a way that you could tell she's scared to ask. And then Crystal said, just spit it out, which I do like that about him. Just spit it out. So she has asked, but then again, she has asked a lot of the same questions, that others have asked before. And it honestly gets a little bit redundant. Yet, and yes, I know that there has been some things that have changed and things that have been added. since the very first interview, right? And like I said, we have questions. We have questions. But everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and we need to remember that, right? No matter what our personal opinion may be, and I've told you guys myself, I would not get along with Chris. His personality and mine would not be cohesive at any point in time. But that's me. That's who I am. And that's who he is. So, everyone has their own opinions. But that doesn't make him guilty. His brashness doesn't make him guilty. Okay? It's facts that make a person guilty. All right? So that's what we have to continue to look at. And yes, we have questions, don't we? We have questions that cannot be answered. And right now, Chris and Katie are saying that they don't have any answers. So, are they being honest or are they lying? We don't know. We don't know.
But I do want to be respectful about it. And I do want to continue to bring awareness. All I can say is I'm just human too. And I just want to bring awareness to Sebastian. And hopefully somebody will see him or know what happened or come forward and get this taken care of, where he can get back where he needs to be. So, is there anything else y'all would like to say?
Just thank you for helping spread the word and helping to search for my son.
Yeah.
My prayers and thoughts go out to everybody. We're all going to have our own differences of opinions, okay? But we pray and we have thoughts, and it's all in good kindness and good-hearted, and we love you all. But thank you, and please keep spreading the word about Sebastian. Keep him in your thoughts, keep him in your hearts, and hopefully we'll get him home very, very soon, and we'll see about trying to do a big old welcome home bash.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I had to
Absolutely.
rent out a big public space for that.
Yeah. We're going to hold the commissioner to that.
Yep.
Pay for it. Absolutely. Well, I thank you for joining me, and I won't keep you long, all night, because I know y'all are tired and everything, and I just I thank you for holding up to your end of the deal.
Well, like I said, man, my word, wanted you to know it, and like I said, anybody's available to ask me a question, I'll answer them to the best of my ability as soon as I can. Ultimately, we are searching for Sebastian as a community, everybody,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And y'all, I appreciate everybody in here, my mods. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate everything. And if any of y'all have any questions, you can find him on Facebook. You can message him. That's how I got a hold of him. And then I spoke with him in or I made a comment under the Hendersonville Facebook, Finding Sebastian. And I think there's more than one. I'm probably signed up to all of them. But anyway, he answered, and he's answering. And, there's nothing that we can do except continue to pray, pass out flyers, pass these around, talk about him, keep his name out, and continue to look. They want you to continue to look, search the properties that you've already searched. He could have come back. Do everything that you can. And if you see something, say something, please.
Yes.
Yes, anything. Contact Bobby Simmons at 1-800-TBI-FIND. He's the investigator up there at TBI, or Brian Carter at 615-451-3838. And, we just, it's still an Amber Alert. We have to get Sebastian Rogers found, period. And that's that. So I thank you all, and I hope you have a great night. Y'all try to get some rest, okay?
Yes, ma'am. You too.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me, both of you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, so I'm surprised that we finally got to finish that, but there we are. I was just trying to think about what she said at the end, about thanking them for being with her and that kind of thing. And she, she had said some derogatory things before this. That's why she said, I wasn't sure if you were going to be mad at me. But she never apologized to Chris. She just tells it like it is. And he seemed to receive that, and he seemed to be somewhat respectful toward her when he wasn't, you can't be both brash and respectful. I've said it before. So it can be one or the other. And he was being, for the most part, respectful to Smiley. And, kudos to him for that. I think, if we're going to find Sebastian, those are the kinds of things that we need to know. I will say this, though. I don't think that there are any more questions that we could ask Katie and Chris as far as finding out anything more about Sebastian. I mean, what they're saying is he was just gone. Katie's saying he walked out the door, but we know that there's no evidence that he walked out the door. There's none. So, and we have to go by facts. So she's standing on that, and Chris says her husband is going to stand on that as well. So I don't think, even though we will hear from them again, I don't think that we're going to hear, I don't think we're going to get the answers to the questions that we want. And that question is, where is he? How could he have left that night? He did not leave on his own. So what happened? Are you a sound sleeper that you wouldn't have heard someone come in and get him? I mean, what happened? So we're not going to find out any more of those answers. We're just not, from them. Things are going to have to come in from other tips. Someone saw something, something like that. Other tips like the Oregon tip, the New York tip, which I don't even know what that one's about. I haven't heard anything. If any of you have heard anything about the New York tip, let me know, because I haven't heard anything about what that one is at all. But the Oregon, we know that, a lady had stated that she saw Chris and Katie Proudfoot at Ford's Pond and in Oregon. So, and that there are two people that are connected there. So, Dog and Nick are looking into that. Nick said that earlier. I showed just a part of Nick's video, but Nick said that Dog is out there. He is tracking it down like a dog. He is tracking it. So, if there's anything to know there, he'll find it. And remember, guys, that whenever Dog or Nip get any tips, they always pass everything on immediately to law enforcement. So they're not holding back any of these tips. I've seen some people in my chat or in comments put, don't call Dog. Well, it doesn't matter who you call, because Dog is always going to turn over those tips anyway. He's not going to hold anything back because he's known for working with law enforcement, not against. So, the thing is, he has more time and more resources. That's the key for Dog. Smiley was giving the local number for Sumner County Sheriff's Office, and that one I personally would not call, because TBI and the FBI are now in charge of the case. So, not that you couldn't, but there has been talk, and it's rumor that there's corruption in the Sumner County Police. So if it were me, if there's any kind of rumor like that, I'm going to go directly toward, if I had a tip, I'd go directly toward TBI or FBI before I would go to the local office in that scenario. But that's just me, I would hope that Sumner County would get those tips over to TBI and FBI anyway. But so I wanted to just put up the information again about Sebastian. Please look at that face, look at that smile. He has a smile that just lights up, and it kind of just pulls you in, guys. 15 years old. He's going to be 16 next month, guys. Really want to see him home in time for Christmas. Dirty blonde hair, brown eyes. He has black square-rimmed glasses, 5'5". I've heard on the weight part, 110 to 120. Just been different people saying different things, but would be in the range of 110 to 120. Remember that he doesn't like to be barefoot, and he actually left without shoes on. So that's another questioning item as far as his disappearance. We know that he has trouble making friends and trouble with social interactions. I still have not heard yet. Somebody said his favorite song isn't The Eye of the Tiger, and that Seth said what his favorite song was. If you guys have the link for that, where Seth said what Sebastian's favorite song is, please send it to me at granny'scrimebusters@gmail.com. But we do know his favorite color is green, so light it up green for Sebastian, and put his face out there on social media every day, guys. Let's spread the news and bring Sebastian home where he belongs. We'll be starting out with another new interview on the next one. I don't know yet if I'm going to be out and about tomorrow. Tomorrow is, as I said earlier, my 66th birthday. So I know that my cousin has some things planned for me. I'm not sure what all yet, but we were in Vegas last year for my birthday. And so I'm sure she's not taking me to Vegas. I don't think we'll be going to Vegas this year, but she does have some things planned. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go live tomorrow or not. I will try to maybe at least do a video if I can. But we'll see what happens. I may take another day off. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And don't forget to light it up green for Sebastian. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.